just fussing at y'all. Okay, I have been watching y'all's progress over the last week. Just like I've done the 103, the 120-10, and the 120-11 class. And I'm talking to all 4 classes because there are 2 chapters of nothing but reading. I'm going to write this down because I'm going to talk to y'all about this because this is not making me happy. Chapter 1 is reading. Chapter 2 is reading. Now, I want somebody to tell me, when did I tell you to start doing chapter 1 and 2?
Two weeks ago?
No. We're in our 5th week.
January.
When did I tell y'all to start reading chapter 1 and 2?
January 29th.
I start the first week. So we're going to put first week right here. So by the 2nd week, y'all should have started on the chapter 1 and 2 homework. By the 2nd or 3rd week, I'll even give you the 3rd week. Everyone should have started on chapter 1 and 2 homework. And you should have finished it by the 4th or 5th week. Or 4th week, sorry. Now remember, there's a half a week there, okay, that I'm not counting. I have students, and I want you to listen to this. I have students in all 4 classes that have not done chapter 1 and 2 homework. Now, how do you expect me? And first you're going to say this. Well, I don't know how to do it. You don't know how to read? Okay? This definitions, this terminology. That's it. There's no math. And I have 4 classes, and I've got about 3 students out of each class, 3 or 4 students out of each class that have not done the chapter 1 or chapter 2 homework. How do you expect me as a teacher to help you in chapter 3 when you haven't even done chapter 1 and 2? So now, chapter 3, I warned y'all. I told y'all that chapter 3.1 and 3.2 was going to be stuff that you've seen before. Okay? 3.1 and 3.2 is going to be mean, median, mode, range, mid-range. I have people that have not done that homework. So you're telling me that in 12 years of school, you don't know how to average up your test grades. You don't know how to find the center. You don't know how to find the mode, the range, and the mid-range. You're telling me that after 12 years of school. I can understand people not understanding how to find the variance and the median. I meant in the standard deviation and the z-scores. I can understand that. This homework should have been done. But I've got, again, 3 or 4 people out of the 103, 3 or 4 people out of this class, 3 or 4 people out of my other 120, and about 6 out of the 120 at night that haven't done these. Now, my question to you as a class is, how am I as a teacher? How am I as a teacher supposed to help you as a student?
The homework on
When you haven't done the homework. I told you at the beginning of this class, how does this class work? my class is different from all other classes. I use the students' questions out of the homework to gauge this class, right? I use the students' homework. So when you don't send me homework, what do I assume? I assume that you know the material. When you don't do the homework, how do you know the material, if you know the material or not? So I'm just forewarning. I'm forewarning the 3 or 4 people. I'm forewarning you right now. I don't know how to spell forewarning, so I'll just make it 2 words. All right? Forewarning. Number 1, remember, what do you get when you do not do your homework or your test? What do you get? What do you get? I know you don't want to say it, but go ahead and say it.
Nothing.
Nobody's going to say it.
You fail.
Right here. I just wrote it down. What do you get for not doing homework or tests? What do you get for a grade?
0.
You get a 0. And that 0 will decrease your grade. I've got one student, okay, listen to this. I'm not going to tell you what class they're in, but it's in one of the 4 classes. I got one student that's got 100 on the test, but didn't do a single bit of chapter 3 homework, chapter 1, 2, or 3 homework. So what's that? What's those zeros on the homework going to do to that A average? It's going to break it down to a C. I'm just telling you. Number 2, do not come to me if you've not done any homework whatsoever and say this. This is the worst thing you can say to a teacher. That's the worst thing you can say to a teacher, especially when you haven't done any of the homework. Don't even try that. And number 3, if you don't do the homework, how are you going to ask what? How are you going to ask questions? I expected at least 5 or 10 questions from this class. You know how many questions, homework questions I got from this class? 0. 0. So what does that tell me? It tells me that y'all know chapter 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to move on.
I thought you said we had some questions.
Nope. This class does not have any questions from chapter 3. Now, I might look at chapter 1 and 2. Let me look at 1 and 2. Let me see.
We had questions because I sent at least 3 or 4.
Okay, what section? What
I don't
section?
remember. I think they were in 3 or 2.
Well, let me look again. I may be wrong. Let me sort it by subject.
I'm struggling with the homework in 3.4.
3 point what?
4.
Okay, well that's understandable.
But I got all the rest of it done.
Okay, okay, now here's a bunch of questions, but that's from another student. I don't have a 3.4 question from you, Miss Macagina, but if you send me one right quick, we'll go over them.
It's just more of them having a hard time like doing the problem. Like I know.
Okay, well I'll do these questions. Look at all those questions sent from the same student. That's working right there. Now, if you understand the material, I'm not saying anything. What I'm saying is, don't come to me and say I just don't know how to do the material, and you haven't even done chapter 1 or 2 homework. Don't do that. All right, did you say 3.4, Ms. Macagina?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to pull up these from another class, and we'll go over those. 3.4, number 14, number 7.
Are we still going to go over the exam today?
I thought we had already went over the exam.
No.
We were the class that wasn't able to because your internet
Lost
just cut out on
connection.
us.
I didn't know that. Okay, well, we'll save about 15 minutes before y'all let me know when it's about 10 minutes because I'll let you see it. I'll let you see what the test looks like. All right, about 10 minutes before 11, somebody make sure you tell me. All right, a manufacturer of bolts has a quality control policy that requires a blah, 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 4 standard deviations from the mean. The quality control engineer knows that the bolts are coming off the assembly line. What does this mean? I want somebody to tell me what this means right here. What did I tell y'all when you have a mean and a standard deviation? What does that mean that you're going to do? You're going to draw the what?
Empirical rule.
You're going to draw the empirical rule. And I guarantee you right now that there are people in this class right now that have not done this. I guarantee it. There's somebody in here that hadn't done it. And I've been telling you to do this for 2 or 3 weeks. If you're wondering why I'm a little bit on edge, I had a student come to me in 103 this morning and gave me the I'm lost excuse. And I just lost it. I'm sorry. I didn't lose it with the student. I lost it after so I'm venting a little bit. All right.
Hey, you were sending us a copy of that. If was the print.
Yeah, I put it on the files.
I don't see that on my files, but okay.
Hold on. I probably didn't. Let me look on the conversation I can't see in the past. I'll send it right now. Look in your chat. Pull up your chat because I'm fixing to send it.
Pull up.
I'm sending you the picture. I'm not going to send you the actual. Y'all need to put it however you want to put it
Okay.
on your. You need to fix it however you want to on your word processor. And I think I got a colored one somewhere. Hold on. I thought I sent y'all the one that I colored. Did I not send y'all that?
I never found it. So I just drew it.
Let's see if this is it. Yep, there it is. I don't know if you can use this one or not, but I did send a colored one because I know how much trouble it is to color. I'm not talking to you. I'm just venting. All right, do you see those now? Look in your chat. I just sent them. Here's what they look like. Do you see them?
No, I just draw it because I kept drawing it.
Okay.
Trying to get it to.
Do you see the chat button right here?
Yeah.
Click on that, and they should be in the chat screen. If not, they go into the file. So I'll pull that up. Hold on a second. Here's the files. And you look for normal distribution. And I'm looking for it. There it is right there. Yeah, 5 days ago. Dadgum, it even tells you when you loaded stuff. I like that. 5 days ago. And then I just put it up right now. And then the color one, I don't know what the color one is called. I think it just has a bunch of gibberish beside it. It's still loading. There it is. 5 days ago, I put that up there. The JPG, the one with the 16th on it, and a minute ago. So you should have them. All right. So you're going to draw this curve with that information on it. So here's the mean, 13. And a standard deviation of 10. So that's going to be 23. Is it 10? Oh, 0.10. 13.10. 13.20, 13.30, 13.40. Now, why did I add another standard deviation? Somebody tell me. Why did I add another standard deviation?
To show if it's outside the outliers.
Because it says what in the question?
I can't even read the question, so I don't know.
For standard
What
deviations.
length?
It says what? 4 standard what?
Deviations.
You know, and I'm going to tell y'all what I told my 103 class. 90% of doing well in Math 120 and 103 is you have to what? Read the what? Question. And I mean, you have to actually read it, go into it and read it. 4 standard deviations tell you that you got to set your curve up with not 3 standard deviations, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I already got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go.
1, 2, 3.
13.10 and 12.9 is your first standard deviation. Second standard deviation is 13.2, 12.8. Third is 13.3, 12.7. And fourth is 13.4 and 12.6. Okay, now I have just done all of this. This is what all of this tells you to do. All that in blue right there says draw the curve with a mean of 13 and a standard deviation of 0.10. Now, what does it say? For what lengths will a bolt be destroyed? Well, it says a manufacturer of bolts has a quality control policy that requires for it to destroy any bolts that are more than 4 standard deviations from the mean. So I'm going to take my handy dandy drawing, and that means that I'm going to throw away all of these bolts right here and right here. So somebody tell me what I just did. What bolts are those? Those bolts that are above what?
13.4.
And below?
12.6.
That's what it means. So 13.4 less than 12.6 and more than 13.4. Is that a test question? Yes. That's nothing but the empirical rule, just like Miss Dennis says, the empirical rule. Okay, next question. 3.4, 17/10. Mr. Michelle, since you brought that up, that y'all were the class that we had problems with, I'll give y'all an extra day on homework and an extra day on the test, okay?
Because remember, you got a new Ethernet you want to show off because you cut us off.
Actually, y'all should be able to see it today because it should be faster. I mean, there shouldn't be no lag time on the whiteboard. I don't know if y'all can tell it or not.
It's blurry.
Well, I'm sorry. All right, this one says violent crimes include rape, robbery, assault, and homicide. The following is a summary of the violent crime rates, violent crime 10,000 population for all states
100,000.
of complete parts A through D. The first quartile is 278. The second quartile, or the median, is 387.9. I had a student ask me in 103 in the last class today. They say, how did you get a quartile B in the median? And I've only said that about 5 or 6 times, that the mean and the second quartile are the same thing. I've only said that about 5 or 6 times in that class. Anyway, no, what's happening is, I'll tell you what's happening. I've given everybody a what? A day. And what is everybody doing? They're doing their homework, and they're trying to send in questions, and they're trying to get their questions answered. That's not the way it works in my class. All right. Anyway, 25% are right here, 272.8, 50% at 387, 75% is at 528.3. Y'all remember me showing y'all the gas hand?
Yes.
The quartile goes with the gas hand. Provide an interpretation of these results. 25% of the states have a violent crime. That's what was 272. 50% at 387. And this is a test question, so this is a good homework question. Next, it says check answer. I don't know what. Okay. Determine and interpret the interquartile range. Now, I did not show y'all this, but it's real simple. It's in the book, and I tell y'all to read the book. Interquartile range, and it's not even worth. I'm not going to spend any time on it. Can somebody tell me what it is? It's not supposed to freeze like that, but it did. I guess the internet cable that ain't even doing anything. What is the interquartile range?
The third quarter minus the first quarter.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Michelle. I hate that you have to. I don't even know if that was Mr. Michelle. I just recognize his voice because he's the only one that interacts with me besides Miss Dennis and Miss Macagina. This is the only one that, and you know, interquartile range, the third quartile minus the first quartile. So when they ask for the interquartile range, you just subtract the first quartile from the third quartile. So somebody do that for me. What is 528.3 minus 272.8? Somebody give me that.
801.1.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand a bit of that. What?
801 point. Wait, never mind.
No, it can't be 800. I think you added them.
255.5.
Say again.
255.5.
Everybody get that? Now,
Yes, sir.
I personally, if you're talking about crimes, I don't think you can have 0.5 crimes. I'm going to say 256. I'm probably going to get it wrong.
We have a half a crime.
I don't know how you can have a half a crime
They got
being half pregnant.
It's 255.5. You wrote 256.
Okay. That's the right answer. Interpret the interquartile range. Choose the correct blah, 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 blah. The middle 25% of all observations have a range of 255. The middle 50% of blah, blah, blah has a blah, blah, blah. All observations have a range of 255 crimes per, and the middle 50% of the observations. I would say if you take 75%, now think about this. If you take 75% and you subtract 25%, what do you have left? We don't know, Hubert.
50%.
There you go. And that's the middle 50%. Okay, the lower fence. I'm going to show you how to do this, and I didn't know. I'm going to show you because there's a 1.5 times the interquartile range, and I'm going to show you the formula. I think I remember it correctly. Yeah, there it is. Write this down. The lower, I don't call it the lower fence, I call it the lower parameter. The lower parameter is the first quartile minus 1.5, the interquartile range. And the upper is equal to the third quartile plus 1.5 interquartile range. Now I'm going to show you what they give you there. What do they give you when you're finding the lower fence and the upper fence? Do you remember me showing you on the empirical rule? Do you remember me showing you where the outliers were? Does everybody remember that?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to use a blank one because I don't like to write on top of a. Does everybody remember me showing y'all this right here and telling you that this is outlier? Does anybody know how many times I've colored that pink and shown y'all that? I've shown y'all that at least, what, 20 times, 10 times, 10, 20 times? Okay, what they are telling you as a good estimate the upper parameter, when you figure it, you're basically getting that right there. And your lower parameter is this one right here, not using the empirical rule. Okay, I want you to write that down. When you do the lower parameter and the upper parameter, you're not using the empirical rule, but you're finding where your measurement is for the outliers. Does everybody understand that?
No, say it again.
I said when you find the lower parameter and the upper parameter, you're finding the border for your outliers. Miss Johnson, are you still there or you left? She had to leave, so that's fine. I took the roll. Did I take the roll in here? I need to take the roll, don't I? I'm giving y'all an extra day, so we'll go over the test. We'll try to go over it the last 15 minutes or last 10 minutes, but we still got Wednesday. I'm giving y'all an extra day. Okay, so let's go back to the question. And here it is. And we know that the upper or the lower, for this lower right here, is going to be the first quartile, 272.8, minus 1.5. And what was the interquartile range? We found it up here. What is it? 155, Miss Dennis, you found it. 255.5. So I want y'all to do the math. 255.5. And then the upper parameter is going to be the third quartile, which is 528.3 plus 1.5, 255.5. I'm going to do it on my calculator so y'all can see how the best way to do it is, and hopefully y'all won't screw it up, because there will be some people that can break an anvil with a banana, and this is a simple calculation. So I'm going to show you how to do it. 1.5 times 255.5 And then I'm going to take 272.8 minus second subtraction symbol down here at the bottom. It's got answer above it. That takes your previous answer and enter. I get negative 110.45. Y'all check it. Negative 110.45. And then I go to the top. We just found that right there is what we just found. We see we don't use the empirical rule because they didn't give us the mean and the standard deviation. They didn't give us the mean, and they didn't give us what? Standard deviation. If they don't give us the mean and the standard deviation, we can't find the upper and lower parameter by the empirical rules, so we have to use the interquartile range, which is not used very much. Okay, so let's do the other calculation. 1.5 times 255.5 plus 528.3. 911.55. So now, somebody tell me, where are the outliers in this problem?
Would it be anything below the negative 110.45
Correct?
and above 911.55?
You're correct. Because you don't have the empirical rule. You don't have the empirical rule because they didn't give you what? They didn't give you.
Standard deviation.
I didn't spell that right, but anyway, they didn't give you a mean and a standard deviation, so there's no empirical rule. So you have to use the interquartile range. And all that's going to give you is the measurements for the outliers. Now that's a good question, and it's a good standardized test question also. So the lower fence is negative 110.45. The upper is 911.55. And here's the question. What about 1,496? Would that be an outlier? Yes. Do you believe that the distribution of violent crimes rate, or do you believe that the distribution of violent crime rates is skewed or symmetric?
Mr. Hubert, how was the answer before what you said?
All right, read it.
When you said the violent crime rate in a certain state of the country in that year was 1,496. Would this be
an outlier? Look at your picture, would it?
Judging from the 1496, is that what we're?
Right here. 1496. Where's 1496? Be right up in here, wouldn't it?
Oh, it will come after 911.55.
That's it.
So that's okay. I don't know what that means, that question was asking if the rates are skewed or symmetric.
Well, it's hard to tell with the information given. Violent crime includes states of Virginia. I don't know how they're telling that with the information that's given, but most of the time, the reason I said it's skewed right is because you got a negative, and that negative tells you that it may be skewed right. And look, And you've got also a big number on the right-hand side. That 911,
Mm-hmm.
that's bigger. That's way bigger than negative 110. Negative 110 tells me skewed right. Negative 110 tells me that most of the data is on the right-hand side. If you have an extremely large number on the right-hand side, like 1800, and you have a very big left-hand side, like 300 on the left-hand side, then it would probably be skewed left. But since you have a negative there, that's going to be skewed right. Let's see what their explanation is, because let's see what they say. It's probably going to be, since you have a very low number on the left-hand side, but they make it sound like a Philadelphia lawyer. The shape of the distribution can be described as symmetric. This one is symmetric. Oh, here it is. When data are either skewed left, there are extreme values in the tail. Okay, they tend to pull the mean in the direction, for example, the skewed right distribution. There's large observation on the right tail. Therefore, you have a negative on the left. That's what they're saying. Another way to determine whether the skewed left or right, compare the differences Q2 minus Q1 to the difference of Q3 minus Q2. If the difference are about equal, then it's symmetric. If the differences are not approximate, okay, that's how you tell right there. Somebody write that down. Q2 minus Q1 and compare it. I'm going to get a sheet of paper right here. Q2 minus Q1 compared Q3 minus Q2. All right, so let's do that. And let's just do it. Let's just round, okay? Let's don't get all persnickety. Let's just round. Let's see. Q2 is 388 minus 273. And 528 minus 288, or I'm sorry, 388. So I just wrote down, I just rounded them. Here we go. 388 minus 273. 115. 528 minus 388. 140. So which one's bigger?
140.
So therefore it is skewed right. $115 is less than $140, therefore skewed right. I'm glad I went over that question because I forgot that we missed a class. I can't remember. What did we freeze up?
Yeah, you disappeared off the system.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? My computer has not done that since. I don't know what happened. It wasn't my internet. It was my computer. My internet was fine. My internet was all green. So, and I have another
We have
computer.
about.
Say again.
I just wanted to remind you we have about 10 minutes left.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait and do the. I'm gonna wait and do the test. Well, we go ahead and look at it for those of you that want to start, because I do realize that 80% of the class or 90% of the class is doing what they're supposed to. So I'm not going to penalize y'all. So let's go ahead and look at it.
Also, did you say that the math test was, or that the exam was due Wednesday or Thursday? 'Cause
Hold
you
on, I'm
originally
gonna make it due. That's what we're gonna talk about right now. I'm gonna look at it. Let's see, this is 1/20/23, right? Let me go there first. Okay, course tools, assignment manager, assignment dates. Okay, there's the test. I'm gonna go ahead and extend it. I'm gonna extend it to the 26th. Go ahead and give it to the 1st. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
And let's go to
Thank
the
you.
homework. Homework, let's see, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Technically, I shouldn't even extend chapter 1 and 2. I shouldn't even do that.
But we appreciate it.
Well, I'm telling you, 1 and 2 should have been done 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I'll give y'all till Wednesday on the, let's see, today is the 22nd. So I'm giving y'all to the 24th. And I'm not going to be lenient on the homework because y'all have had 4 or 5 weeks to do it. And I'm not
Oh
gonna be
man,
lenient.
my kids can't eat.
All right, next, I'm going to show you the test.
Hubert, we're coming to your house for food.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are.
No, you're not. You got Wendy's right beside you.
I don't eat that crap.
Blame me. I'm the one that put it there, right?
How can I buy it if I can't work hours for the money? I gotta do homework.
All right. Hold on a second. I'm getting there. Test. And preview. Now I'm going to show you, so we didn't even go over the test. Okay. All right. Compute the range and the set. Okay. I give y'all at least 4 or 5 ranges. I'm sorry if you can't find the range after 4 weeks, and that's subtracting the highest minus the lowest. I'm not going to say anything. And there's at least 4 or 5 questions on the test that are just nothing but the range. I want you to count. There's one right there, the range. What branch? The only one that's got United States in front of it. Determine whether what is amount of water in a dog's bowl? Is that discrete or continuous? Is that volume or is it weight? I mean, counting eggs. Which one is it?
Would be volume.
Is volume is measured or is volume counted?
Measured.
Measured. It's continuous. That's chapter 1. All right, look what this one says. An average of 13 and a standard deviation of 2.9. That means empirical rule or what?
Z-score.
Or z-score. Same thing here. Z-score. If a student does not complete a homework assignment, he gets a 0. He or she gets a 0. That's for the student that said she didn't know. Used to compare a high school dropout rate of 30 students. Districts in one city, 2,000. The box plot generated for these are below. Okay. And it looks like this one's a little bit skewed left. So I mean skewed right. This one's a little bit skewed left because the center is right here and you have to turn it, look sideways on that one. Okay. Next. We'll go over these a little bit more Wednesday. I do not entertain extra points because I give you bonus questions and I take only the highest grade of 3 tests on each attempt. Email his cell phone is the best way to contact. If you miss a question, ask Hubert to meet with him after class. If you miss a question on the test and you don't believe it's right, I'm trying to hurry. Look, there's number 2, the range. Number 2, there's 2 questions. There's 14 bonus questions and at least 5 range questions. Nobody should fail this test. Look at there. What is the largest bill in the sample that would be considered an outlier? They're asking you, the following is a number of 19 November utility bills. What is the largest bill in the sample that would not be an outlier? So that's how you work the empirical rule there. Find the mean and the standard deviation, draw a bell curve, and figure out which one. If that doesn't work, the interquartile range. Look at there. There's number 3. Find the range. There's 33 questions. That's 3 points apiece. That's 9 points. 3 times 14. There's 14 bonus questions. That's 52 plus 9. So far, we up to 61 points that everybody should be able to get on this test. That is 5-number summary. We did 2 or 3 of those in class. Box plot. This is assuming, I think this is find the mean and standard deviation. There's number 4. So now we're up to 64 points. Because if you can't find the range 15 minus 11, you don't need to be in this class. Standard deviation. You can find that with your calculator now in about, what, 13, 15 seconds? This wants you to find the range, another range, but this got standard deviation. So it may take you a little bit longer. There's another one. Now we're up to what, 67 points? There's another range, 67. Bonus. And I think there's find the range of the data. We're up to 70 points. So everybody in here should make a C on this test, at least a C. Empirical rule. Bonus. If you need to leave, I need to take the roll right quick. I need to stop. Let me take the roll. We'll finish it. Let me take the roll right quick. Stop the presentation. Stop the recording. I'm sorry, I'm running behind.